Welcome everybody to another brand new episode of the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
I am Matt Nost, and you caught me applying chapstick. So why if you're watching my lips still glossy? There you go. That's a reason.
Looking good.
Thank you. I get dry lips. I had a makeup artist tell me once that I have the driest lips she'd ever seen, just on my bottom lip. It's in two spots. So this time of year, that's when I shot it.
Do you usually have you pulled them off and caught blood and all that kind of on your lips before?
No, it doesn't get that bad.
Okay.
It just always, there's two creases and they always just look dry. And this time of year, I just got to wear more chapstick and it takes care of it. Good times, man. Good times. Just got in the middle. We got nothing else to talk about. It's post-Christmas. So how was your Christmas?
I think it was good. We had a good time. Got some presents. She got some presents as well. Her sister came up. We had a nice dinner the next day after Christmas with the puppies and with her sister's boyfriend. We all hung out there, and nice. They're both coroners, so they've both been checked, rechecked, triple checked, quadruple checked, for any of the coronavirus stuff. So they're very clean. I was freaking out because we had gone to her mom's a couple of weeks before, but I was very careful to not walk around anywhere without the mask or be in our close quarters. So just making sure. So we're fine. And so her sister's great to come up, and we had a good time. How about you? How was yours? How was your Christmas?
It was amazing. The best Christmas. I honestly, the memories are still so vivid that it's hard to put into actual words how amazing that Christmas was.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Like it was awesome.
Well, I hung out with my family. They're driving in, rented a house.
Right.
And we're basically just moved to another section of LA, and we're quarantining together over in that new section of LA. There you go.
How did bringing the tree over work? Were you okay with that? Did you lose any ornaments along the way, or any needles, pine needles, branches?
I debated on two different methods, and ultimately I chose the more secure one. Got it over there just fine. Everything, needles intact, ornaments. We took the ornaments off because there's just no point doing that.
Smart.
But left the lights on and actually used those to help tie it down as well. So it was good times.
Now, is the tree done now? Have you donated it, or have you put it out for scrap?
Donated it. Donate. Where do you donate a tree?
I don't know.
Hey, do you want my waste?
Hey, I mean, we take paper. We donate used paper.
Yeah, well, you set it out in the city. You set it out, and it gets picked up by trash service, and they take it to where they dump. The same thing you put in a green container.
Ah, all right.
That's my assumption. You'll find out just as well.
Yeah, I'm sure I will once we get rid of it. I don't like to get rid of my tree until January. I like to keep it there for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know that mine's going to last that long. So even though I stayed on top of watering it, it's by the time it gets close to January, the thing is, I don't want to wait to the point of no return to when you touch it and 50 needles fall off every time you touch the damn thing, because you're just creating a huge problem.
That's a fair point.
For diminishing joy. Yeah. The joy really starts to fade after. Then it's just a sad reminder of like, oh yeah, Christmas. Even though I don't have a bunch of presents, I'm not a kid anymore. It's still like, oh yeah, shit. Now we got New Year's, and then after New Year's, it's just a wasteland for a while.
It's true. This Christmas.
I don't know why I guess bulk of the country, it's too cold to do shit. So there is no There's a lead up for you. We got Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's, and then piss all for months.
Yeah. For a while.
Didn't mean anything to, there's the random bank holiday, like a Monday, you get out like a President's Day.
Right.
Kids get spring break.
Yeah, they do.
St. Patty's.
Right.
That's if you're into St. Patty's. I'm a little too old and I don't drink anymore. So the luster wore off a long time ago for me.
Yeah. I don't really dial into any of that, like Cinco de Mayo and St. Patty's. Those aren't really my things. I know other people really enjoy that shit. It's not my jam.
I like Cinco de Mayo because day drinking with tacos, like having a beer and tacos, I always enjoyed that. That's a fun holiday.
Fair enough.
I never look at it as an opportunity just to get full on blitzed. It was like, well, When I enjoyed it like that, of course I did, because that's what I was always doing. But that wasn't a holiday where I'm like, it's not like the 4th of July where I knew I am drinking today. Whereas Cinco de Mayo, I was like, we're going to drink.
Yeah.
Enjoy ourselves a little bit more. Have some tacos. Yeah. A little bit. Will I get blackout drunk by the end of this? Of course I will, but it's a Tuesday. Neither here nor there. How quickly and how, voraciously I consume is the real question.
That's a good point. It's a good point. What else is going on? I want to talk basketball with you, but I know you're always worried that we're going to turn off the fans before we start our show, but there's so much happening here, man. There's so much happening here. The James Harden overweight thing, I had no idea this was an issue until a couple of days ago, and I started seeing all the memes and shit. People are ruthless, man. People are merciless with this guy.
Yeah. I think it was Matt Damon. He said when he did The Informant, he would just nuke Haagen-Dazs and just eat Haagen-Dazs because you could just spoon and it's pure fat. And it looks like Harden's done a lot of that at strip clubs for the past 4 months, just fuck quarantine.
Do you think it's depression? Do you think he's also like kind of depressed as well? I mean, he's got a job. He's got millions. There's nothing
but it doesn't matter.
Sad about, but he's not happy with his situation.
He's not.
Yeah.
Because now the metric by which you judge a player is how many championships you've won.
That's
and
true.
If you're not even in that discussion year in, year out, your legacy is going to be, affected. It just is.
Yeah.
Because that's how sports is viewed, through that prism for some reason, especially in basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more so than, football. Brady's an anomaly.
Always has been.
Yeah, but I mean, him and Belichick, like nobody does that. That's such crazy excellence.
Yeah.
That congratulations. I wish I was a Patriots fan. Whereas in basketball, it's like sometimes it's just the difference of one player.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can swing everything. Look at Kawhi in Toronto. That one extra player got them the title. Yeah, last year they played well. They got in the playoffs. They played well up until they got knocked out. But Kawhi was the difference when they won that title.
Yeah, that's why Durant is looking good. And the Nets are scary if that's the case. That's a lot of fun. I still like Durant. I know a lot of people hate him. But
what do you think about Kyrie saging the fucking court? What was that all about, dude?
Of course. So for those that haven't seen it, Kyrie Irving is a point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. He also at one point said that he believed in flat earth and then recanted that 3-4 months later. It's just like, I was kidding. And then he's come out and said all kinds of other wackadoo stuff. So he's out there a little bit. 2 weeks before, he told the press that I'm not going to speak to you, that you're all pawns. And Kasparov tweeted back at him, like it's just a joke about pawns. But it's just like Kyrie attracts. So he's walking around the court, the outside of the court with sage. And then he put it out in like some special, look like sage ashtray type of thing. Because if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. You know what I mean? If they got you for the crystals, they're going to get you for the fucking candles.
Yeah.
So if you buy into that scam, you buy into that scam.
Yeah, fair.
You don't half-ass, at least if you're burning sage at your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he walked out. It's, for as anomalous an activity as it is, it's harmless. And if it gives him calm and it doesn't bother anybody else, great. I'm all for it.
Yeah, but it furthers the nuttiness of Kyrie, doesn't it? Right?
And I also think Kyrie kind of leans into it too.
Yeah, a little bit. I think he enjoys needling the fans a little bit.
It does. Well. It's like Joaquin Phoenix doing Letterman, in the character of Joaquin.
Yeah, right. To get his things,
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, he's just a weird guy kind of on some level. He just does his own thing. He just decided to do that. Yeah. Okay. And we all went, all right, I guess I'll watch this.
All right, guy.
Yeah, so he's very much the same way, just an eccentric. I'd be interested to know how much of it is, to force a reaction and how much is what he actually truly adheres to.
Also, what's the line where he's causing too much of a distraction and the team? Because he's turned off teammates.
He'll find
it. Yeah, he'll always find it. And Brooklyn, that year he was playing, last year when he was playing for Brooklyn, like some of the stuff that he was pulling and some of the stuff he was saying in the press. I wonder how much of that Kevin maybe enjoys in some fucked up way, because Kevin's like, well, they won't be talking about me if they're talking about his nuttiness. Like they'll leave me alone, or I'll look like the good guy. I'll look like the sane, the level guy. So I can just kind of operate in a way behind a shield, behind a cover, and do my thing while Kyrie is taking the spotlight. I don't think Kevin likes the spotlight. I think Kevin likes to be a star, but he doesn't like the responsibility of being in the spotlight necessarily. Because, dude, I don't know anyone else who started a burner fucking phones or accounts or Twitter accounts to try to monitor.
We don't know anybody that's been caught.
Well, fine. I don't know.
I'm sure there's so many
such a weird
and
thing.
they're all. He's on a text chain with somebody that's clowning him for it to his face as one of his friends of like, dude, you got to log out of your fucking burner, you dumbass. It's like him and Westbrook still have a text chain after all these years. Of course you call him on it.
Laughing emoji, Russell. Laughing tears emoji.
I think Durant's more so there's an interview from him years before this transpired, and he was asked basically asked about various players and whatnot. And when he started talking about Kyrie, there was a genuine fondness, and he enjoys watching his game. You can tell by the way he described it.
Yeah.
So at least that's my assumption. So when they paired up, it's like, oh, well, I remember that in his own words, him describing what it's like to play against and to watch him and how impressive he is.
Right.
If they can figure out the insanity of it all, because they're also under the microscope. They're still technically in New York.
Yeah. Steve Nash, first year's coach.
Yeah. And I think Kevin wants the spotlight, but he also wants your reverence, and he's envious of what LeBron gets.
Yeah.
That's, once again, my guess, but he feels he's a better basketball player. It's not like saying, I'm assuming, I'm a billion times better than you, but one-on-one, I can take you. I
don't think that's incorrect, to be honest.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
I mean, Kevin, before the injury, we talked about it a couple of times on Dropping Dimes. We were doing it over there. Like you said, you mentioned a few times how you thought his play was better than LeBron's play. And it's like,
he is.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he very much is. He lied about his height. He's 7 feet tall.
Yes, he is.
And he can literally shoot from anywhere on the court. He can dribble the ball. He's got gorgeous dribble moves for a dude his size. It's ridiculous. He can pass when he wants to. He is an excellent defender. It's crazy. He just doesn't have LeBron's size and now LeBron's pedigree with all the championships.
He's the human definition of silky smooth, of the term silky smooth. Because it's just wherever he will find himself on the court, wherever, and just like pop. And when he's feeling it, good night. You can't do a fucking thing to stop him.
To put it this way, that those that don't watch basketball, his nickname given to him that he said he didn't like, but it's the best nickname I could think of, was the Slim Reaper.
Yeah, the Slim Reaper was awesome.
I love that. The first time I heard that, I was like, that is my favorite nickname of all, because that's exactly what he is. He's this slim dude that is just an assassin, man.
Yeah,
an assassin. It is so incredible to watch. And he's like, I don't like that. You're like, oh. So people stop calling him that. It's like, that is the best. I understand you want to promote yourself and market yourself in a Jordan-esque fashion and aspirational, and Slim Reaper ain't going to get you that. But
you're right. True.
That is such an accurate description of who you are.
You know, if Barkley got called that, he would eat that up. He would eat that.
Of course, he would
use that, because there's certain players that have certain personalities.
Yeah,
where Slim Reaper would.
But that's Barkley's brand too.
Right. It is. You're right. That's right. Irreverent.
So the Kevin Durant's, but yeah, the Nets could be a lot of fun, and even casual watchers. If what we're describing, so then they're uber rich and they have like weird habits, and
yes,
that's part of the reason the draw of these massive sports too.
Which is the one team you're looking forward to the most if you're going to watch them on League Pass or whatever?
Well, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the East because there's so much, so many teams reformed. I want to watch your Wizards. I want to see what Atlanta, how exactly they're going to do this and piece all this together. I want to see what it's like if Steph Curry has the potential chance of getting James Harden's usage rate, which he would this year on the Warriors, and whether or not his efficiency can hold up. And if he can, then he will be technically the greatest offensive threat the game has ever known. He just doesn't get the usage rate of Harden. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because even if his percentage points went down by, say, 2 points, but he gets that excess volume, the numbers he'll put up will be bonkers. So who knows? Like there's a whole bunch to watch.
Yeah.
Who are you looking forward to? You like this Westbrook, baby?
I love Russ, and just the limited play he had the other night. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I need him to be angry, dialed in, and loving his teammates. If those three things are in motion and working in tandem, then we got ourselves a hell of a fucking season. And yeah, you're right, Matt. What we talked about earlier, the defense is not there now. Huchimura is going to be out for like 3 weeks because of issues with his eyes. So it's just like, okay, we'll see how he does. But that just means more time for Russell and more space for Russell to score. And already Bradley was getting shots or getting looks that he wasn't getting last season because Russell was doing exactly what me and a lot of people thought. He's collapsing the defense because he can still run to that basket. He can still drive. He's 32, but he's still got a little bit of push into getting the lane.
Still Westbrook.
He's got great instincts. That pass to Thomas Bryant was fantastic. He knows what he's doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I already want a Westbrook jersey. I'm already looking to see when they drop the price on those because I'm not going to pay full price for that motherfucker, but I will find a discount for it for sure.
The problem with Westbrook, what sucks, which I always knew, he is a candle that's going to burn out quick.
Yeah, probably.
Because his best attribute is the fact that he can harness his athleticism. And it's like a slot receiver. Once he loses his step, he now can't make a break on the defender. And because he can't shoot from more than consistently 14, 15, fuck, man, I hope he gets a 3.
Yeah, he was 0 for 3 the other night.
Yeah, he's not a good 3-point shooter. I hope he gets a 3.
I thought of you immediately when I saw his stat line. I was 0 for 3 at 3 points. Like, that's it.
He needs to not shoot 1 a game, 2 max. 3's not bad. It's when he shoots 9 and goes 2 for 9, and you're like, oh, that hurts.
Those are wasted possessions, wasted scoring, just possibilities, man.
Yeah, shooters got to shoot, but if you're not feeling it, please don't. So over 3 is not bad. But I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't know Derek was on Detroit, man. Oh man, that was tough to watch because that's a Chicago. That's a Bull, man, playing for the Pistons. That for me,
but it doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
Right? I know.
But Pistons stock and Killian Hayes looks interesting, but I have no idea what they're going to be like.
Well, this Knox kid for the Knicks is apparently shooting, looking like he might be popping out and shoot some threes, but I don't know how much they want to rely on him, man.
Who cares?
Yeah,
who cares?
Fair enough.
Knox is the bust, unfortunately, for Knox, unless he really turns a corner.
The Suns, I'm looking forward to. That's for sure.
Sure, CP3.
See what John Morant can do in Memphis in the second season. Those are the teams that I got my eyes on. Certainly Brooklyn, of course, and Golden.
Yeah,
State.
We could do this honestly. There's as of right now, even though we talked about Christmas, I haven't managed to actually see many games thus far. Even though
we're about to start.
Well, I'm saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Yeah,
we're on the.
Well, we've done the artifice of it's post Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, right. You're right. I'm sorry. We've seen a bunch of games.
Exactly. So it's too early to tell, though. It's too early to tell.
I might get the league pass this year. Finally, I might get it now that I've gotten a new entertainment stand, and so it's more comfortable to be in here. There's more space in here, so I might just get it and just be spending some time watching some games and enjoying some b-ball. Man, it'd be nice to come back to that. Anyway, all right. Well, should we get into the show, my man?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, this is another show brought to you by a patron. You can do, if you donate at the $50, if you've got $50 and above patron, you get to choose a topic for the show. Every month, we try to pick a new topic from a patron, and we try to pick a patron that hasn't been picked in the past before we default to a patron that has been picked in the past. And today we got ourselves the top 10 hand-to-hand combat movies. And who's this from, Matt?
This was sent in by James Leggett. And he sent in hand-to-hand combat movies. So that is kind of a blank in a lot of my movie going. Yeah. A ton of things that would qualify for this list.
Right.
So if you genuinely want to tell me, hey, what about XYZ? And they're all meritorious choices that are worthy of being on the list. For some reason, I just don't go down the rabbit hole of these types of movies.
Well, listen, you say top 10 hand-to-hand combat movies. In my mind, what is implicit is there's some great fight scenes that are hand-to-hand in the movie, but also the movie itself is good. So for me, that's how I tried to pare this list down. Like Tony Jaa could probably be on this list 3,000 times, but his movies really aren't that great. So in the end, it's like, well, those are the ones that I cut, and I try to keep out as many martial artist films as well, and as many of and I try to keep one per franchise.
One per. Yeah. Do the same thing. sometimes it's about a smaller scene, but it's a pretty badass fight scene, but that's pretty rare. I tried to get like hand-to-hand combat movies.
Yeah.
Where there's more than one scene and like that's how they're primarily interacting. Two choices were like, that's a great fight scene though, and it's hand-to-hand. And if I stopped myself because then you could keep going down that rabbit hole.
Right.
So I just included two of those. So I tried to get as many of those as I could, one per. There is one martial artist that I have apparently a huge just blank spot.
Okay.
I don't know if you will or won't.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. He was in a certain franchise of from the 80s and 90s, but it was in the 90s version after they had added the likes of Joe Pesci and Rene Russo. Chris Rock eventually, and then the other individual.
I know who you're talking about.
I could be missing something, but nothing came to mind. Although I didn't look it up on IMDb, but I figured considering I can't think of one off the top of my head, I'm just going to go with that. Pretty sure.
I think you might find that he might be on my list as well for a film that I thoroughly enjoyed, and that
maybe I'm missing something that I should have looked, but I scanned my brain. I was like, I can't think of, and where he's not like that in that specific franchise where he's like, yeah, he was in it along with four other primary people. Yes, he wasn't the direct focus of. But I know he's done. There's no way you work for that long.
Yeah,
I like that I didn't look it up. Are you IMDbing or Rotten
Tomatoes?
No.
I looked. I have it here. I'm just like making sure that I've got the right one that I wanted to put on here. But so it comes up pretty early in my list. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, James gave us the topic, so we came up with that. And once we set a topic, we go our individual ways and show back up here. Do our personal top 10 lists. I do my bottom three. He does his bottom three. I do my next two. He does his next two. Then we trade one apiece. Once we reveal our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom. All right, let's go.
At 10, I have Ip Man.
Oh, good, man. I have not watched any of these movies, and I know number 4 is just about to come out. So please take it away. Oh, maybe it is coming out. Yeah, go ahead. Please take it away.
I think there's 4. It's the only one I've seen. I watched it for this. The hand-to-hand is throughout, and it's really good.
Yeah,
I will say this much: the lead actor, he's also the blind guy in Rogue One.
Yes,
he's excellent.
Okay, yeah, it's Donnie Yen, who was great in Iron Monkey, which was back in the 2000s. It was hilarious.
Okay, I did not see that.
He's an incredible martial artist, man. Yeah.
There's another one that I was like, you know what? I've never seen that, and I should put that down on my list. Maybe it comes up on yours, and we can talk about it then. But so the action in it, he's excellent, but there are some really terrible acting performances, even though you're reading it, it's not dubbed over.
Right.
But there's so many like wide-eyed, straight, just everybody is kind of doing that. It felt like the transition from silent movies to talkies, like way back when they're still emoting like it's a vaudeville theater and they got to get to the back of the room. Whereas he is so centered. Perhaps it was a choice to make the world around him look so chaotic because he does play this just singularly focused, lets the world come to him. His fighting style is so relaxed, he's almost asleep.
Yeah.
But it's believable. Like the blocks just seem he's just a little bit quicker and it's mundane almost. And it's got a nice arc overall. So it's set historically, the first one, within when Japan invades into China in 1937.
Oh, wow.
In something called the Marco Polo Bridge Incident, I believe.
Okay.
And I did not investigate further beyond that because that's as far as I got. But I did look it up and I was like, oh, what's this based on? Because they do a flash title card of it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll look it up later, as maybe you will as well. Who knows?
Isn't this guy connected to Bruce Lee somehow too? Like he trained Bruce Lee or one of his students?
So this is, I guess, hypothetically a true story.
Yeah.
So his fighting up in the north of China so inspired people, or the south of China, I can't remember which region he's in, but they distinctly make, anyway. But it rises like the people up and gives them a symbol and whatnot, and then the war ends shortly thereafter type of thing. So maybe he became like a Seabiscuit-ish, like a cultural figure in that level of triumph.
Yeah.
Because he fought some dude, but I don't know that because I'm not sure how much liberal
how much license they took?
Yeah. If it's inspired by or if it's based on or how close they actually, managed to get. But he ends up going on to open up his own school, and it teaches tons of people. And Bruce Lee is one of those people eventually.
Wow.
But now the followers of his kung fu, there's like 2 million in the world or 3 million of the world of his style specifically, which I had no idea about. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, there's like 4 of these, and then a Hobbs and Shaw, it seems like. So brought to you by almost Ip Man. I think.
Yeah. That sounds about right. So,
but yeah, the Japanese are the over-the-top bad guys.
Of course.
And the general is bringing local martial artists in China to a camp, and they're fighting.
Okay.
And if you win, you get a bag of rice, and if you lose, you could die.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, is that true? I don't know. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow of the movie. The fighting is, him fighting is excellent. Do I think it's worth watching? If you don't watch many combat movies, perhaps not.
But if you enjoy it, then this is one for you.
Yeah, but potentially, because it's just kind of like even keel throughout.
Right.
Even though they kind of build, but I don't have the nationalist pride like the Chinese would for a story like this. So perhaps for them, it's a gut punch, Rocky style. No idea.
Yeah.
But it was, interesting, and to find out the historical background and all that jazz afterwards.
Yeah. Well, that's the new thing for next year. For the Schmodown, Christian, it's either bag of rice or death. That's the parameters now. That's what you get when you fight now.
Dude, he does that, and that's my after show. Welcome to Bag of Rice and Death. I'm your host, Chainsaw.
Rice or death. I love it. All right, what's your number 9, man?
My 9 is Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh, good choice. I knew you put an animated one on there. I knew it.
It's the only one I could think of. I could have put others out. There were other choices on my side list. Sorry, I got to tickle my throat.
Okay.
It's not going away.
Uh-oh. Do you need some water?
Talk to me about Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 2 is cool. I like the first one. The sequel, it's one of those surprising animated sequels that actually improves upon the first one. With what it does, and with all the bringing all the characters back, and considering Poe's story in the movie and what he endures and goes through, and of course it sets up the third one, which I think is actually damn good too. People don't talk about these films enough when they talk about the best animated film franchises, and this certainly belongs in the conversation. Hey, what about you?
The Gary Oldman's Peacock character.
Yeah.
The cinematography choices on that and how they animated and whatnot, it's just beautiful. It looks like, kabuki or whatever that's kind of handheld type of, especially early on. That's how they tell the story. Yeah. Is it not kabuki?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then there's also the one where the actors have the really big makeup on and they do the over expressive. And I don't know if that's what that is. That's a different form of entertainment. Anyway, from roughly the same era in my head as a non-Japanese person. So the choices with that Peacock character, just so beautiful to kind of expand the world and tell a longer distance, like an aristocratic aspect of it, these former rulers of an area. But then Oldman is the reason that Kung Fu Panda, I can't think of his name. I want to say Poe.
Yeah, Poe.
Is it Poe? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, no, that's Star Wars. Poe, and the reason Poe's in the situation that he's in is because of Gary Oldman's character.
Yeah.
And to find that out, and just the shock of the subconscious when he sees the feathers go up, it's really kind of somewhat complex, especially for little kids. And it's something though they should appreciate as they watch it, when they get older. But the fighting is all awesome. The very ending when he's firing cannonballs back at the ships, so he catching into it's the droplet of water type of. But because it's animated and there's other realer hand-to-hand comments, more in the spirit, I put it at 9.
I liked it too because it's inventive. Because it took the first film, and like we've said a number of times on this show, a sequel is supposed to expand upon the world of the first one. This one certainly does it in a way that makes sense and works, and just the way the animation of it is pretty incredible too, man. That scene at the end when it's all those destroyed ships and they're about to have their final fight, that is like, fuck, that's overwhelming in an animated film. And it's spaced out really well. It's colored well. to set it up, and then the conversation they have before they have the final fight. I'm no big Jack Black fan, but I swear this is some of my favorite stuff from him, aside from Nacho Libre, and I think he does a great job with this. Plus the idea of a peacock, right? Kind of like mesmerizing you while he's fighting you. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and it throws him as like throwing stars or throwing knives type of thing. Just flying those out.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
So that is my 9.
Okay, what's your 8?
My 8 is Old Boy.
It's my 7. So yeah, let's talk about it.
It's that scene where he has a hammer, technically not hand to hand.
That's hand to hand. He's holding it in his hand, for God's sake.
Well, yeah, but you're holding a gun in your hand.
That's true. That's true.
So,
but you have to actually hit him with the thing as opposed to shooting from a distance.
I know what you mean. But he does fight, with his other hand and all that jazz. It is just a brawl. It's just a straight up brawl. And him getting through that, thinking of that sparked me to think of another movie. I guess I won't bring it up in case you have it on your list. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to limit these singular fight type of scenes.
Yeah.
Because it opens up a little bit of a Pandora's box on some level. But it's great. It's not the guys are holding back too much. So it looks like he's kind of getting bum rushed at times and he's holding off and he gets hit and he's got to stagger around and whatnot. Right. But to shoot from the side, kind of tracking as he moves along, such a great idea.
Dude, the shot there and then him moving and then you're just like, oh, fuck, man, this is going to be insane. And it's stellar, man. It's such a stellar fight scene. And of course, the overall movie is excellent. We've talked about it numerous times here on the show, but the fight scenes when he gets into them are badass and brutal and desperate, which is what the character is. And all around, just great movement throughout. And just, I don't know. All I can tell you is the way it's lit, the way it's shot, the sound of the fight as well, and the pace of the fight is excellent. And there are times and the emotional swings, because there are moments you're like, oh, this is it, he's done, you know what I'm saying? And then he
has to. There's so many guys.
Yeah. But it's an enclosed space, so like you can in a way, if you can work the angles correctly, you can actually survive a situation like that. Where if it's more wide open, it's harder.
Bottlenecks people.
Yes, exactly.
But it just there are trade-offs. You don't have as much room to work, and there's nowhere to run.
You can't run away. Exactly.
Yeah, so you need to be pretty precise. But if you're precise, it's not bad.
Which he is. Yeah.
Look at Thermopylae. Let's force them through a tiny little area.
Good point.
Lesser forces can do some damage and then ultimately just get slaughtered.
Yep.
But anyway, so that was my 8, your 7. So what do you got at 10?
My 10 is The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan movie.
I limited to 1 per Jackie Chan.
This is the only one I have on my list. Look, I know there are other great Jackie Chan movies. I know Drunken Master, all that kind of stuff. But to me, they're not that good. Police Story, they're just not that good of a movie. The Foreigner is a fucking good movie, and I love this movie. I think the storyline is excellent. Where he's the father of his daughter who was killed in a terrorist bombing by a newly resurgent IRA led in the government by Timothy Dalton, who has old ties to his IRA people, and his Timothy Dalton's Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, wrong James Bond. Pierce Brosnan's wife's involved in this somehow because of some old slight and issues with the family. He's like, holy shit. And Jackie Chan, you find out, is this guy who used to be part of the special forces for his country. And he is like kind of given that up, and he runs this kind of restaurant, and it's a very serious, there's no jokes. There's no comical moments.
True.
It is all him just desperately fighting these people off stage by stage as it gets closer and closer to the people who murdered his daughter in that explosion. And it pushes the pressure onto Pierce Brosnan as he gets closer and closer to them. The fight scene on the roof is incredible throughout the house when they're doing that, all going through the glass, going through all that shit that they go through down the staircases. Everything's great. And then the fight scene he has later on in the woods with Pierce Brosnan's nephew is fucking excellent hand-to-hand combat stuff. Plus, it's a damn good movie. As I said, it's a damn good movie. If you haven't seen this, it's by Martin Campbell, and I know Martin Campbell can be hit or miss. This is one of his hits, absolutely.
As you were talking about that, I just thought of one I can't believe I didn't think of, and it would be high on my list.
Okay. Do you want to put it in now and kind of rearrange the list, or?
Well, yeah, we just knock off Ip Man, and then
your choice, miss your list.
Yeah, no, I'm knocking off Ip Man.
Okay, all right.
I just imagine we'll have some overlap, so it won't be that big a deal. I just don't want to add extra movies.
That's fair. Thing, you know what I mean? That's fair. So you haven't seen it, right?
You still no, I've seen Foreigner.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I just limited to one Jackie Chan.
Fair enough. Okay.
Foreigner's great. I would thoroughly recommend it. They made it for no money type of thing.
Yeah.
And not to say it looks like that. It's not meant to be some huge, massive, over-the-top action thing because it's Jackie Chan, so it's all intimate kind of fighting and whatnot. But the IRA angle gives it a nice little, I don't want to say put you on your heels, but it's a turn or a twist on something that you may have seen before.
And it totally works. Like it totally, and it adds a level of menace to the film that was necessary. And it isn't cheesy menace. It isn't overdone menace. Nope. It isn't big histrionics. It isn't, big faces. It's like legitimately brutal, evil things that they are doing in the end. And the ending is great.
And in no way is Jackie playing it like, oh, you picked on the wrong guy.
Yeah, right. No.
It's more so like, I'm just trying to, why are you guys doing this?
And he's persistent. His persistence.
That's the biggest.
Yeah, it's really what gets it going. All right, so that was my number 10. My number 9 is a Jet Li movie. I was saying it was coming early for me. Unleashed, the one he did in I think 2005.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
It's such a good movie. Bob Hoskins, Morgan Freeman, and the daughter from Rome, the Irish actress who also plays the voice of the operating system after Jarvis becomes Vision. That's the same actress. She plays kind of a love interest of Jet Li as he's been released. Is he been
programmed or something?
Yeah, well, Bob Hoskins, who's the main villain in the movie, killed Jet Li's parents when he was a young man and took him and trained him to essentially be his dog. And so he fights whenever he takes him off the leash. He fights for money and kills people or beats people up. And Bob Hoskins gets the money. Then he puts him back on the leash and feeds him and whatever. And so this is him breaking free from Bob Hoskins after a car accident, allows him to escape his control. He stumbles into this piano shop with Morgan Freeman and the girl, and then they kind of take care of him and try to teach him what it's like to be human again. And slowly, and then Bob Hoskins finally tracks him down, and it becomes this confrontation. The fight scenes are fucking stellar in that pit, and the fight scenes throughout when he's fighting anybody is excellent. It's a great car crash scene that feels like you're actually inside the car. And Morgan Freeman does a really nice job and connect. There's some really tender moments and sweet moments throughout the movie, but it's just one of those films that has awesome action sequences, but also has a really damn good heart in the middle of it. And it doesn't take shortcuts either way, which I thought was excellent. It's rare to find in an action movie. So
very true.
Yeah. All right. So then my number 8 is the Bourne Ultimatum, the third one.
Okay. Do you want to call that a punt because I chose a different one?
Sure, no worries.
Okay.
Okay. What's your 7?
Well, technically now my 7, but now it's 8 because I bumped down. It's Enter the Dragon.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to do any martial artists, but then again I put it like
you got Jet Li.
Just martial arts, but just martial arts, but no problem. Yeah.
So some people may say you should have A, multiple of his, or B, it should be much higher. I don't know. Perhaps this is the reason that I don't go in for just straight movies like this all that much, or I have to be kind of warmed up to it now after certain movies that we're going to talk about later have kind of developed that world a little bit more for me, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when I watch these older ones, it takes a while to get where it's going, which is true for every Bruce Lee movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
But this one, once they get over to the island and it's the fight tournament from the overall bad guy, and there's the kind of spy espionage aspect of what he's trying to do a little bit, I guess, more espionage than spy. And I like the setting, the stark contrast to reminiscent of another movie that's going to be on my list later on. And of the Bruce Lees, I don't know if I would watch this one. I think I would watch this one the most, and that's why it made my list.
Okay.
You got anything to add?
I mean, it's a great movie, right? The only reason I didn't put it on because it's a tournament. So to me, it wasn't like in the flow of the movie. It's the point of the movie. It's why I also kept off another one that I really wanted to put on, but I couldn't put on because I was like, that's a tournament. So to me, it's not necessarily a hand-to-hand action movie. It's
the fact that people are dying and it's all hand-to-hand. It's genuinely combat. Yeah. People do die in it. If it was just them,
I'm not going to fault you for putting it on there.
Yeah,
my logic in it.
If it was, say, Karate Kid, I don't know if I would agree with that one.
Yeah, it's true. Karate Kid. I should have thought of Karate
Kid. Yeah, he sprains his MCL like at one point. That's as bad as it gets.
Right. Because I may as well put a Rocky film on here then. If we're doing that. That's the way I didn't want to do that.
I agree. I tried to steer clear of that, but I did make people die. There are stakes. It then is combat. It is, the object is just take them out, but sometimes it is, you got to kill them. There's just no choice.
Yeah.
Like or they're going to continue to go until you kill them.
I was mad with Jim. I remember the first time I saw that movie, I was mad when Jim Kelly died. I was like, damn it. Because I thought he was I mean, at the time when I watched that movie, I was a huge Jim Kelly fan because he was such a great black martial artist that didn't get his due. Didn't get his just desserts, but I was watching his films when they were on TV whenever I could, because they were fun. All those martial arts movies, they're not going to be, considered the greatest films ever made, but Enter the Dragon is fantastic. That is a classic, and it's a shame he died before it was released and all of that, but it's so excellent. And I actually ordered, I know it's not the same movie, but I Bruce Lee, BruceLee.com was having a pretty big Black Friday sale. So I got a couple of shirts, and one of the new ones is like him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's like standing over him. I was like, I got to get that shirt.
Okay.
It's such a fucking brilliant ass shirt. And I forget, is that Game of Death? I think that's Game
of Death. Yeah. Where he's got the yellow tracksuit on.
Yeah. It's badass. So.
And the story was because that's become so iconic. He walked down, I think there was an all black tracksuit and a yellow tracksuit, and he took the yellow because it would basically look better on camera.
Yeah, smart.
And you'd be able to follow him. That was the choice. It wasn't some big, he sat for months of what color, should there be piping, should there not? He showed up to set. That's the story that I literally just read that like a month ago.
That's awesome. All right. So then what is 6 maybe?
Yeah, my 6-7 is the punt now. I went Bourne Identity when they do that apartment fight.
Oh, yeah. The apartment fight is great with the pencil and everything.
Yeah, into the dude's fist. Oh. And it's just like he's got to pull it out, and it's jumping between, dude comes flying in through the damn window. But next one, Bourne's chasing down. Doesn't he do the big jump through the double?
That's Bourne Ultimatum when he jumps through the window.
That's what I'm saying. And that one, they even up it a little bit more.
That's why I chose that one, because they upped what they did with Bourne Identity. But yeah, Bourne Identity is great.
They're both, man. What they did, they just made a realistic robot.
Yeah.
Just a killing machine. I enjoyed that with a Clive Owen when he shows up to Sniper and he knows he's about to die. It's just like, do you get the headaches? I get such terrible headaches. Like death is utterly meaningless to them because their life is, they don't understand anything going on around them. They're just an activated weapon.
Yeah. They can't function in the world like they used to function. And some instinct within them knows that they are not 100% normal, but they have to appear to be normal. And then when they're triggered, they're just the goal must be achieved. Yeah. Whatever the mission is, must be accomplished.
When Matt Damon in the first one is in the car, and I think she just flatly asked him like, "Oh, what are you thinking about right now?" type of thing. Or no, but he's searching for his identity, obviously. Yeah. And he's like, "Look, right now I know that at this altitude I can run for X number of miles at full speed before I start to tire out. Why do I know that? And I also know this." And he's assessing the world around him at all times.
Yeah.
In a way that the average person is not. It's a great little piece of character development, but the build to both of those fight scenes, the hand-to-hand really sells it. If it was all just gun, like when he's in the embassy and the dudes, maybe it should be higher because I forgot about the embassy one.
Yeah, the embassy
and he's just taking them all out one by one by one. Yeah, they did a lot of good hand-to-hand in this series.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimatum one I chose, like you said, it's just basically take the Bourne Identity fight and went to the next level up with it, because it feels like, and I think this is a matter of them figuring out how to shoot the fight better as well. Is it feels like you're actually in the fight. It feels like you are actually there dodging the punches and whatever, and the camera moves with the fight throughout in a way that it moves even better than the first one. And so for me, that's what sold it. And then the other multiple fights he has throughout the movie, constantly when he's challenged and when he's put down and when he has to work his way out of it or fight his way out of it. It's just fantastic stuff. And the film itself is really good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the shame of it, dude. I mean, sorry,
the Renner version, and then you had him coming back for just Bourne or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Jason Bourne one just didn't. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. But and I don't mind the Renner one, but I just think they were trying to make Renner happen in a number of franchises, and
it was boring.
The truth is, at the end, it's just Jeremy Renner, and he's great at what he does, and he's good in these franchise films, but he doesn't have the same charm, magnetism that you need to have to lead these films. He's not necessarily Eric Bana, but he isn't Matt Damon either. So he's in that weird nebulous place.
Yeah. I would agree, because he's never really popped outside of, even though he's gotten multiple shots.
Yeah. Even as Hawkeye, he's going to be in a series where he's handing the mantle off to someone else.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up, and I was like, we're already beating this guy while he's down. Do we need to throw this overhand left?
He's got money.
They're handing it off. He used to have an app where you could join, and then you had to pay money for like whatever the currency is to leave messages and whatnot. And he was supposed to interact with all his fans, and he gives daily Rennerisms and shit like that. I don't know how active he was, but I heard about it, and then a description. And so then I sought out somebody had downloaded the app, and it described what it was like. It was like, this sounds bonkers. Like, who signs up for it? Well, it's just kind of like a lifestyle. He puts out clothing and hunting gear. It's trying to build like an empire. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just crazy to me that you're going to pay money to then leave messages on posts from a corporate entity, and somehow you think that it's directly like he's going to see all these. Yeah,
that's a fair point.
It's weird. It was weird. I don't know if that still exists or not.
I don't know either, because The Rock had one of those too, where The Rock
that makes more sense to me, doesn't it?
You could sign The Rock. Well, yes and no, in that there's way more people who want to hear from The Rock than there are from Jeremy Renner. So if you're going to do personalized,
I know that's why it makes more sense to me that, of course, The Rock would have one.
Yeah.
It's not like his movies bring us to him. It's him. He seems like a charming, lovely Hulk of a man.
Yeah, the app apparently will wake you up at 4 a.m. to work out. It'll wake you up at 4 a.m. and he will talk to you at 4 a.m. So he records a message every day, and at 4 a.m. it wakes you up with the message that he's recorded for that day to wake you up. So it's fucking intense. I did it for a bit, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna.
In 10 years, what is it? You're gonna have a little cube, and he's a hologram, and he comes up and he's.
I think so. I think I'm shocked, Matt, that there isn't a Rock workout DVD or series that you can get.
I think that lessens his brand. It lessens his brand.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It looks like he's pandering to try to get
more. Yeah, and like taking advantage of he has nothing else to offer when he's still got all the movies and everything else.
Right. He's not Billy Blanks and shit.
No, but if he came out with a clothing line and whatnot, that's more on brand.
Yeah, that's true. Which he has, because he's got those workout clothes.
Has he? Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. How long until he pairs with like the next Fast franchise, and then he's the official sponsor of this tire company?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a cross promotion with Fast and Furious, and nobody gets upset, and he makes $12 million to shoot 4 commercials.
I don't care what they say, man. They should kick everybody off that franchise but The Rock and Jason Statham. Like, I'm not,
you're saying that like I know the buzz of what people are talking about with Fast and Furious franchise.
I never know with you what you've got your ear on or not.
So. The buzz of what should and should not be transpiring in the future of that franchise is certainly not one of them. Just you can take that one to the bank. That's gold standard.
All right, that's cool.
That's a government bond right there. That'll be paying dividends for however long you want it. Do you want to buy a 20-year, 30-year, 40? It's good investment.
It's good to go. All right, I'm bringing this one up because I want to make sure I get the directors right. But where are we up to? My number.
Well, technically, I had to bump down.
Oh yeah.
So we can blast through this one. Under Siege is now my 6. I love it. It's unequivocally my favorite Seagal.
Yes, bar none. Bar none.
The weirdest thing is this is the best story, the best acting that he'll do.
Yes.
You know, best co-star in Tommy Lee Jones that he had for any of the rest of this.
Yep.
And then a nice little cameo from, oh my God, I can't believe Gary Busey.
Yes.
Not really cameo, smaller part, but he's kind of playing the same guy on some level as Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
He turns to the unhinged second kind of in charge when you think he's going to be top dog. But all the fighting for years, I used to mimic Steven Seagal's stupid fighting style, like between me and my friends because of this movie. Yeah, well, he'd flip the knife back towards his forearm when he held it. So he'd like have this little flick of the wrist move to come at your throat or whatnot. And we'd take butter knives and we would do it with butter knives. And the other hand is free to just kind of punch and you're blocking and do this little rabbit style, whatever the hell his style is. Right. Love it, man. I love Under Siege. It's such a stupid premise and it somehow works.
It does. It totally works.
Yeah.
That's why the second one sucked, but this one was good. This one was good. And it's because Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, he was such a great villain. I mean, he would have probably never done
never in a million years.
No, later on in his career. But at that time, when he was still kind of coming back into prominence, it probably seemed like a fun ass role for him to play as a villain and getting to go against one of these top martial artist guys in the world. And of course, Gary Busey basically channeling Joshua again from Lethal Weapon, trying to get a chance to go against another guy with a martial artist type of situation. So I was brilliant. And Erica Leniak is like, she was like a star for just a little bit in the movie. She has a sexy ass scene coming out of the birthday cake. So really, it's absolutely right, Matt. The best Steven Seagal film overall. Now you could argue that you have favorite Steven Seagal films. Certainly some people love Above the Law or Mark for Death or what have you, but this is the most complete and best one he's ever done. Yeah.
All right. So what do you got?
At 6, well, because 7 was Old Boy. My 6 is Extraction. The Chris Hemsworth one where he has to save the kid that was on Netflix. That because it was a theatrical release. It was going to be, but they put it on Netflix. That film is fucking stellar. It is stellar. The hand-to-hand combat is incredible. And I moved it higher up my list because it's hand-to-hand combat movies. And this is a good movie. And the scenes themselves, the fighting scenes are excellent throughout. So because there are so many and they're excellent, the quality and quantity is about the same. I moved it up higher on my list. In no way is it a better movie than Old Boy overall, but it is better for this list, which is where it is now. And the fight scenes are incredible. And yes, he uses guns sometimes, but most of the time it's the hand-to-hand stuff.
It is.
And that's the ones that are around the car crashes and all this stuff that's happening. The one dude that's chasing him the whole movie, when they get into it, fuck, man, it is brutal.
Yeah, they came down the house and they're out on the street right in front. And he gets hit with that truck. It's a good movie. I guess maybe in my head, I didn't think about it because of guns, but you're right. I would say 70-75% of the fighting is hand-to-hand or close proximity. Has nothing to do with a gun. I just, in my head, he's running around with a gun kind of at all times type of.
Right.
He rarely ever uses it. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's an excellent movie. I want to give the directors a little bit of love. Sam Hargrave is the director of this one. And it was written by Joe Russo. So... and based on a graphic novel, which I didn't know at the time when the film came out. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, and there's apparently a sequel that they're working on as well. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay. Where are we at now to our top 5s?
Yeah, my 5, which is Rumble in the Bronx.
Nice. Please, all you. I saw it once in the 80s and never again. Go ahead, man.
Because... the only reason you ever hear about to watch it is you have to see these fight scenes.
Yeah, right. True.
And they still hold up. If you go and watch the fights now, some of the characters and the overtop actors and all that jazz, they had to basically cast people who had been in their system, their fighting system, doing other movies, because there's so many different guys left and right, and everybody's got a weird hairstyle or way they talk or but the fighting sequences are next to none. There's that one where he's in the pool hall type of bar thing.
Oh, yeah.
Pinball machines and flying around. And for some reason, there's old refrigerator on the floor, like lying so that you can open the door because he goes to block as he rolls over it and perfectly. I mean, the physical orchestration it takes to pull these things off is next to none.
And this is prime Jackie.
This is
prime Jackie.
Yeah. Prime Jackie. There's a great one in a grocery store type of bodega type of thing.
Oh yeah,
where he takes out like 4 or 5 guys, and at one point he traps a dude in his jacket, like just perfectly flips it and catches both of his hands, and it looks real, even though you know that they worked on that for a long time. Oh, yeah. And they're just kind of like hitting the dude with his elbows, like stop hitting yourself almost. But he fits in, like he knows that fine line of getting a smirk or a laugh, like a subtle one, a small one. It's not, you're not going to die laughing, or at least I'm not. But even the outtakes.
Yeah.
Go watch the number of times he had to do specific stunts over and over and over and again. Jumping, I think did he break his ankle jumping onto the fire escape or there's a hovercraft in the third act.
I think it was the hovercraft that
I think it was the hovercraft. Yeah. So maybe it was the fire escape shot. He has a cast painted to look like a shoe and he's jumping onto something ridiculous where he continued to film with a broken ankle, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I saw it years later. I had no idea who he was until mid to late 90s. Like once he started to pop off right before Rush Hour and stuff like that.
Right.
Wow. I had heard the name, but I had never seen anything. So I watched it around that time, years after it came out.
Right.
So there's several from that era, Jackie Chan, that I haven't seen, but I've seen a decent amount.
Yeah.
But I always loved Rumble in the Bronx was the first one I saw. I was like, dude, the fighting on this is utterly incredible.
And isn't this Daniel Aiello? Isn't he involved in this one too? Or who's in this one?
Oh, I could be. I just think of all the other faceless people you never really saw anywhere else. Because I know in Super Cop, the woman that plays his partner, so to speak, she's been in a billion things.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah, it's been a, I only saw it once and I wish maybe I should have gone back to see it for our show.
I just remember the fight scenes. That's it. And I was like, for a combat movie, he's fighting throughout. Yeah. And really opened up a whole new world. I wouldn't have the Raid in my life. Yeah. I wouldn't have certain things that I think are utterly fantastic. Anywho.
All right. Anyway, so that's your 5?
That's my 5.
So my 5 is Atomic Blonde.
Another good choice. I think I put it in the gun, but that's hand to hand.
I mean, the whole fight scene in the
if I'm going to include Jason Bourne, how am I not going to include? Yeah, so that Atomic Blonde, good call.
That's a good movie. That fucking fight scene feels like it goes on for 35 minutes, man. It is so excellent. It feels like all in one take, and Charlize is just stellar in that scene. And she has multiple fight scenes, right? And so this isn't the only one, but that's the one that is really the signature of the movie.
Let me ask you a veiled question that you will understand. Did you include a certain movie where there's a hell of a fist fight?
No, I didn't, because I didn't consider that a hand-to-hand combat. But it was on there initially.
Yeah.
Initially.
Sure.
And then I was like, but it's not really hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, I know.
Do
the same thing. Yeah, whereas Atomic Blonde, man, because they're fighting to the death.
Yes. Every single person
every time
she's fighting is fighting to the death.
But that one in the apartment is amazing. Just beautifully. She's so good at the action.
Yeah.
It looks completely believable because the other dude that's his job.
Yeah. Right.
So you need to be as good as the guy that has been studying to do this for who knows how many years, if not decades.
She was excellent, man. And the film itself, I defend the film. I know some people didn't like it. I liked it. I think
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, actually, a really good film. Got great 80s vibe to it.
Yeah, good twists and turns.
Yeah, I think McAvoy is great in it as well. And the twists and turns and the big twist, the big reveal at the end of the movie, or really, really at the end of the movie is fantastic. But she is great throughout, carries it. Her relationship with Sofia Boutella, all of that just kind of works in how she's playing it, and it's badass. And I guarantee you, if this had been a dude, this movie would have made more money. It's just that kind of weird thing where guys have about going to see a woman kicking ass like this. It drives me nuts, man, because she was stellar. This is just as good as any John Wick movie, or just as good as any of these other movies like Taken or whatever. It should have blown the doors off the box office. And the fact that it didn't, at least for this kind of movie, the fact that it didn't is just a true disappointment, because it deserves more respect and more love than it.
Yeah, but it also came out of Was that a summer release or was that an early? Yeah, it was a summer. It was late summer, August, I think.
Yeah, I think
expectations were lower.
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's badass, man. And I rewatched that whole fight scene again because I have it on Blu-ray. It's
so good. Stellar, yeah, I'm mad at myself for having it. I think so. By rights, I'm going to put it in dump Kung Fu Panda. I think it'll end up slotting at 8 or so on my list. Well, I thought of one, dump down, and I can't say that singular movie is better than the Bourne, and we have 2 Bournes, so I'm like, I'll put it below Bourne because Bourne got bumped down.
Right.
So it'll make it's a good call. I like that one.
All right. What's your 4?
My 4 is the one that I thought of, which is dealer's choice, but I'll just say Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep.
For a Downey out of nowhere, doing that type of action. We'd seen him in Iron Man, but he's got a suit. But I love the setting up the action and showing us before it comes out super quick so we can understand how he used his mind to calculate the angles and predict where, run probabilities of this guy will come from here and then that guy will be stunned. So I got to hit him in the ear to slow him down. Boom, 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 boom. And then when you see it in real time, it's amazing. So he doesn't have to be Taken or Jason Bourne or something like that.
Right.
You see the calculus within his mind. And so he does guns come into play every once and again, but his fighting is up close and personal each and every time. And for that to do the slow-mo into the sped up normal version is such a great little trick. And I can't believe the Guy Ritchie was the first one to really exploit it to that degree, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. It's just like, it's one of those things where, wow, that is so obvious. Like the Rorschach, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. How did I never hear that line before? Because it's perfect for setting up a character entirely. Oh, you think, okay. Just like, and now you're telling me you're not some dude that's got your tray in front of you and you're just eating and you hear that and you're like, that's not good.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's not good. Who says that? Who says that? It means it. That seemed honest.
I got to get out of here.
Well, we know he's a superhero. So the fact that now he's saying that and you're just reaffirming your beliefs. But anyway, so the super slow-mo into the action. And I threw it the quality of the movie. And I don't know. I placed it at number 4. So there's my number 4.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I liked it. I considered it. I really did consider it. But it's only one scene in the movie. There's only I guess the fight scene at the end too as well. Yeah.
He's got several. If you want to take the second one, he's got more of them.
He does. You're right. And it's great. I mean, the one with Moriarty at the end is fucking great.
Is it 1 or 2 where he's doing the gypsy boxing a la Snatch?
Yeah. 1 is the gypsy boxing a la Snatch. Yeah.
Right.
But 2 is where there's gypsies that he's
Well, what is it? One of the Mara family is it's not Rooney.
No, it's Noomi Rapace. It's Noomi Rapace.
Oh, it's Noomi Rapace. You're right.
Yeah. From the Kiss of the Dragon or whatever. There's those films. But yeah, but it's funny going back and watching it now after I've watched Peaky Blinders because that's Arthur, who's like the main guy under Moriarty, which I totally forgot about. So it was great watching it because they just came out on 4K. I definitely want to get them when the price goes down because I like those movies and I really did consider it, but in the end I didn't go with them. But it's a great choice. My number 4 then is John Wick Continuum, the third one.
Okay, there's so much gunplay for me in that one. I think I knew I looked at it and I was like, there's that knife scene, which is dope.
There is, but then he fights the 2 dudes from the raid or whatever.
Another movie that shall not be named for the moment.
Yeah, right. but there, and then he fight. Oh no, he doesn't. Common is in the second movie, but he does have a few. Like everyone's chasing him, and they're fighting in the subway when he's taking the pencil.
There's that other guy that's like wants to be as badass as him, and ultimately gets killed by him, and he's happy about it on some level. If I had to die, in your hands.
Mark DeCastro, the guy who runs the chef stuff. Yeah.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear John Wick? Don't you think of a gun drawn, a pistol?
Sure, sometimes. Yes.
Okay, I'm just saying that's the first mental image that comes to mind.
That's totally fair. I don't begrudge you that.
You're right. It's hand to hand.
Yeah, there's enough of them for me that it qualifies. Yep. And I like this movie. I liked Continuum. I thought it was damn good, and slightly better than the first one. So that's why I put it up here instead of the original one.
3 ultimately probably be my favorite thus far.
Yeah. I mean that horse kick, dude.
That horse kick is great. It does seem kind of like one idea too many. So like the Halle Berry, you could cut out.
Right. You could have absolutely cut out Halle Berry.
Yeah. Or you could cut out that horse sequence you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it just had a lot of, but it didn't kind of detract from my overall experience because the high water marks are excellent.
Yeah, they really are. That was better said. All right. So then what's your number 3, my man?
My number 3 is Bloodsport.
Yeah, that's the one I could because it's tournament again. So, but please knock yourself out. I love
you. Telling me the Kumite is not for keeps? How dare you?
It's for keeps.
How dare you?
It wasn't supposed to be for keeps, but then Bolo Young changed the rules.
Was. It's a tournament. It's human cockfighting as much as Senator McCain hated UFC for that. This is the real version of that.
True.
Because death is always on the table. It's just whether or not the other person decides to beat you that mercilessly. It's their discretion. There's nobody to stop them.
Poor ogre. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, you signed up for this. I can only feel so bad for you.
True.
Frank Dukes, just the brick thing. I love that flashback. It's just like someone's calling it out as if it's a magic trick. Number 7, and he's like, "You want me to break the 7th brick out of 10 in this stack? Not a problem." Just the brick. This for some reason. Hold. Oh, there's so much that's wrong that is so right about that movie.
1,000% agree with you, brother.
It's the best. As bad as that movie is, I do not care because that's the charm of it.
Yeah.
So I understand fully if you're like, I could never get into it. It's not my cup of tea.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. But it's just, you grew up now and you watch it and you think it's cheesy and terrible. Like, I understand that, but man, if it isn't just the perfect encapsulation of when I want a cheesy, awesome, hand-to-hand, just fighting kind of movie, dude, Bloodsport's really high up on that list.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man.
Yeah.
The fight scenes are great, and it's full Van Damme.
For no reason. And the guy with the biggest pectoral muscles you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, Bolo Young.
Yeah, and just doing the hand pump to get the crowd up. Oh, wild-eyed. But it doesn't look ridiculous somehow.
Yeah.
And there's the different fighting styles from different people. And they kind of
spinning guy.
Yeah, the guy that does more groundwork and he's doing flips up.
My boy catches him. He's like,
yeah, just smash it. He's a Hulk smash guy. There's all different disciplines, and there's people betting on it, and mafia elements. It's
Forrest Whitaker's in this.
Yep, as an FBI agent.
We were watching it a few months ago. Her family, Lindley's family, likes to do like these occasional like Netflix watch along stuff. Okay. And so we put it on, and she hates to do them. She hates doing them, but I mean, she loves participating. She loves her family, but she hates doing these things. But we did it for Bloodsport, and she'd never seen it. So she sat. We did it. We watched her family. Oh, and so we were commenting on there, and then she saw Forrest Whitaker, and she was like, "Wait, Forrest Whitaker is in this?" And I'm like, "Honey, let me tell you the plight of a black actor in Hollywood. You take what you can get when you're building yourself to the point where people respect you." And so clearly it was enough. And it's a memorable film. And so people know Forrest Whitaker is in this memorable film.
Without a doubt.
It works.
Without a doubt. Of JVCD's or JCVD's, canon, this and a couple others are the first that spring to mind. And you got to be a true fan to get in the weeds on some of them.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, so that was my 3. What do you got?
3 is Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I only want to do one of the MCU films, but this one, there's just great hand-to-hand with him and Bucky throughout the whole movie whenever they confront each other. Captain, yeah, he does use the shield, of course, but they're just great back him and Crossbones going at it as well, and all. So there's enough fight scenes. Plus, overall, it's an absolutely excellent movie, top to bottom. Robert Redford and all of that getting involved there, but like, just it's just stellar. And then you have all these scenes where he's fighting all these people in close quarters. I think the elevator fight scene is in this movie as well.
It is.
So all of that to me makes it a hand-to-hand combat movie that qualifies, because the hand-to-hand combat is not the focus of the movie. The focus of the movie is the overall political intrigue and what have you. But when the hand-to-hand combat happens, it's stellar. It's excellent, especially because he's fighting someone like Bucky who is at his level, which he hasn't done I don't think at this point in his coming back from frozen sleep or whatever, done. So him going toe to toe with Bucky challenges him to be able to go to be able to go and fight, do whatever, so and survive. So
he's the
friend,
the even worse Nazis version of a super soldier. So that's why he's on the same level.
Yeah, which is
but
great.
The Redford little twist is so good.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Of all the people, it's so perfect.
Best casting, and for anybody that grew up with Robert Redford too.
Yeah, yeah.
If you just see it, you're a young kid. It's like, there's an old man, but it's like, man, if you knew Redford and what that really, such great casting.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so what's your number 2?
2 is what's weird is I excluded superhero films, but my 2 flies in the face of that on some level, which is Matrix.
It's my 1, The Matrix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, in my head, I thought about different superhero movies. I was like, yeah, but given the fact that certain people can fly in this world, but I guess if I have to make an argument with my own brain, is because the world they're flying in the Matrix is fictitious, or at least it's an orchestrated world. It's not really meant to be set in reality. That's the line I'm going to draw. But the martial arts and the fighting in that is just stellar.
Yeah, dude. 1,000% agree. And the movie itself is really fucking good. I mean, the fight scenes are incredible, and the movie is damn good. And film changed the genre of film.
That movie is so good that I'm looking forward to the sequel, even though I've been so thoroughly disappointed up until this point. But I want to hold out hope that they can lasso this shooting star one more time.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine anybody else at this point doing it except for the Wachowskis, because it is them and they are it, at least to what I watch of theirs. So I'm holding out hope. That's how good the first one is. Even though you do have the big gun scenes, like in the hotel lobby.
Right.
Once all the bullets run out, like they run through, they fire their guns and whatnot, but they are punch. He takes on the other agent, and they're just fighting with each other's hands. They try and fire at each other, but to no avail. So then it comes to who can kick whose ass.
Well, there's a number of them, right? And I'm sorry, I meant the medium of film, not the genre of film, before anybody gets too upset. But there's multiple fight scenes, right? Carrie-Anne Moss has her opening fight scene that's hand-to-hand, in essence, combat with those police officers.
Yeah, she jumps up and does that holding crane kick air thing.
Exactly.
The camera whips around and she goes, whop.
And then the fight scene with him and Lawrence Fishburne in the dojo. And then later on, when he has to fight Agent Anderson, even though they do have guns, they are mostly doing a bunch of martial arts scenes or moves rather with each other. So there's a lot throughout the movie. There's a number of fight scenes that aren't just Neo. There are other people having fight scenes as well, which I think is excellent. And that's why I put it at number 1, because it's a great film and it has fantastic fight scenes. But it's your number 2.
I knew it was on the road to being great, because in the trailer they showed that Keanu running and then running up in the dojo up the side of the wall and doing the big backflip, and you saw that in the trailer and you're like, what is this movie? This looks amazing. And having seen that reveal, it didn't disappoint. Whereas if you see the average, it's the first thing I think of, but Adam Sandler, they put the best punchlines in the trailer, and then you see the movie and you're like, those were your high watermarks, guys. Should have saved some of those. I just remember that specifically about Waterboy. I was like, oh man, the 2 things I would have laughed hardest at, you using the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't really watch his movies much anymore, but he doesn't really make movies for me.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't make it.
Occasionally he does, and I will happily watch those. Uncut Gems. Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Absolutely. But that's not his film. He's in it, but that's not his film. The films he makes, though, you're absolutely with your correct assessment. The films he makes, like Hubie Hollywood and shit, those aren't really for us anymore.
It's family fare.
Yeah.
Fun laughs, easy laughs.
Grown Ups 2 and shit. Yeah, it's not my jam. But Uncut Gems is fucking stellar. You're right about that. Okay, so then we're up to your number 1, I imagine.
My 1 and your 2, it looks like.
Yeah, well, depending on which one you chose, did you choose? Well, I guess it doesn't matter since we're doing the same franchise.
Yeah, I did 1.
Yeah, I did too, because of that kitchen fight scene. Jesus Christ, man. But please, go ahead.
But they're both.
Yeah.
To me, there is no 2 without 1. That's why. So I was just like, I'm choosing this because I so thoroughly enjoyed this. And the thing is, I still prefer the first one to the second one, because that's the one that out of nowhere, you matrixed me and you made this whole new kind of subgenre. And now I'm in for, hey, we're going to do Raid 5. All right, you could still do this.
All right, I changed my mind. You're right. Raid 1. Let's screw it. That's a fair point, because you're right. There would be no 2 without the 1, and the 1 itself is a better overall film. But that kitchen fight scene in 2 is why
it's great.
Initially, because I usually hate kitchen fight scenes, Matt. They're such a fucking cliche because there's all kinds of things you can grab. So it's very easy for a fight choreographer to go, well, let's put it in the kitchen because it'll give me a lot of stuff. But this is a uniquely different kind of kitchen fight scene that absolutely works. And they use what they use sparingly because it's about their abilities to fight each other more than anything else. And the occasional prop gets used. So I like that. It's excellent, man.
It is. In the first one, the boss's main henchman, the guy that went on to be in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
The fight scene between him and the 2 brothers should be ridiculous because it goes on for so long and they have so much energy. But excellent. It's so beautifully choreographed that you don't care because they adhere to a reality of nobody could really withstand all of this. Like when they're kicking the faceless individuals' asses.
Right.
So you have to build up the stakes a little bit. They do take that fight on for a crazy long time. And unlike Atomic Blonde, where they're slowing down as their stamina decreases, their endurance decreases. Right. This one they go from 100 to 95 to 90. It's still pretty much the same, but I didn't care. I was like, that was excellent. And the fight in the hallway scenes and the traveling between all the apartments and having to break your way out of this one, get over here. It's the kinetic energy of this. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. I mean, like the like you said, the things that they endure in those fights, like when he's going like face first onto the floor and his back out, like, and then being able to flip out of it and move around and all that, it's incredible. And the reason it works is because those guys put enough believability in their reactions to what's happening that you buy it. And that's a shout out to Gareth Evans, who did a fantastic job directing that movie. And if you haven't seen Gangs of London yet, can't recommend that enough as well. Same kind of fight scenes that occur throughout an overall story in that series that are excellent. And there's nothing as great as The Raid, but there's stuff that's just as good in some of the sequences. So
yeah, there will be more than likely something better than The Raid at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll be the gold standard for this type of subgenre type of thing.
It's good. It was fun rewatching the fight scenes again for the show. I was just like on YouTube.
Yeah, it was good. Like dancing around. All right, well, there we go. There's our 2 lists.
Yeah, there's our 2 lists there. We're gonna put our list together now and get you an overall top 10 official list here.
And then we have James's list to read, and we also have shout outs.
Yeah, so don't go away.
Stay tuned for all of that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's Raid versus Matrix.
Yeah.
1-2. I have Raid 1. I think for hand-to-hand combat, that's all they do. Or at least Matrix, they do shoot guns and stuff, but it's not really about the guns because how can I denigrate my number 2? So do you just want to flip a coin?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have one just in case?
Yep. Yeah, I've got the official.
Right. Quote unquote, the official. Yeah.
I've got a quarter here as well. Which would you prefer?
Oh, no, the official. Let's keep it official.
Oh, okay. So it's less weighted than a U.S. Mint quarter. Okay. Well, you could choose either side on the quarter. But anyway, all right, flipping. Call in the air. Well, actually, there's no call. We know who's who. Bats, baby. So the Raid is number 1.
I knew it. It's a weighted coin. Everybody knows it's a weighted coin.
So our next highest in common is what? Bourne Identity, then Atomic Blonde, then Old Boy.
Yeah, I mean, John Wick. Where's John? Do you have John Wick on yours? No. So Atomic Blonde, Old Boy, and Bourne Ultimatum. Yeah, Ultimatum's 8 for me. Old Boy 7, Atomic Blonde 5.
So it'd be 5, 8.
Okay.
For Atomic Blonde.
Okay.
7 what for Bourne, since it's both?
8 for me.
And then Old Boy would be my number 9 now.
What's my 7? So actually, I guess Atomic Blonde.
I'm sorry, that'd be my number 10 now.
Okay.
That's your 7. Okay, so do we want to vault Atomic Blonde this high, or would you rather have your number 3 say?
No, I'm cool with vaulting Atomic Blonde that high.
Okay, all right.
I mean, who's holding our list going like, what the fuck? It's our list.
All right, I'm gonna put Bourne series next.
Okay.
What's your highest individual?
The next one is number 3 for me. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
All right, so I've got my 3 as well as Bloodsport.
Oh, I think it's a better film. I think Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but Captain America, they're superheroes. You know what I mean? For hand-to-hand.
There's no qualification for that. But then the Raid's not even in conversation. Or the Matrix, which you admitted was a superhero film.
Well, no, I'm saying the definition, the distinction I'm going to make is that their flying around happens in a digital reality, and it's not ostensibly set in our reality. So I'm excluding superheroes because it's set in our reality,
right? And
we have superheroes. So I don't know. I was looking for more realistic hand-to-hand is what I'm saying. So I'm going to flip this coin.
Realistic. Okay. All right, Raid. All right, Raid. Flip the weighted coin.
What do you want? The quarter instead? And you can call it in the air.
Do the quarter.
Go. All right, call it in the air. 3, 2, 1, go.
Heads.
Still spinning. Still spinning.
Oh.
Oh for 2, my friend. Oh for 2.
That house is slanted in some way.
Sure. To the correct side.
Oh,
so that is Bloodsport, and then
Shameless.
Cap Winter Soldier.
I know some of you like it where we used to argue about, but we can't. We don't have the time.
It'll take too long.
Yeah.
So then, well, Old Boy, we have it what, 8, 10?
Yes, I have 7. Old Boy's 7.
7, 10. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do it there.
Okay.
All right, what's your next highest?
4, John Wick. The John Wick series continuum.
All right, I have my 4 in Sherlock Holmes.
Are you really going to flip after you won twice already? You can't give me one?
Dude, what's fair is fair. If we've established a protocol of flipping, I think we continue with that protocol.
All right.
As opposed to, I've given you the option of which coin. Which coin would you like again?
Let's go to the weighted coin.
Wait, I don't know which one you're referring to because you at this point have slandered both coins. So, sir, I'm going to need you to clarify.
No, I slandered your house on the quarter. I did not slander the coin on the quarter. I slandered the weighted coin over here. Go ahead. Maybe just once it'll go my way. Maybe just once.
And for once it did.
Oh! Nice.
All right. That was again. I'm sorry. It's late.
John Wick.
Okay. I'm free.
Where are we at right now?
Got one left.
Oh, okay. I have my 6.
Okay. I've got my 5.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Here we go. The top 10 hand-to-hand combat movies. Yeah. At number 10.
Rumble in the Bronx.
At number 9.
Sherlock Holmes.
At number 8.
John Wick 3.
At number 7.
Old Boy.
At number 6.
Captain America.
At number 5.
Bloodsport.
At number 4.
The Bourne series.
At number 3.
Atomic Blonde.
Numero 2.
The Matrix.
And our number 1 hand-to-hand combat movie is
The Raid Redemption.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I've got James's list here.
Oh yeah, that's your James's list.
So he says, "Hey guys, sounds good. Pardon me. I'm all for shootouts and explosions, but give me swinging fists and flying kicks any day. Something about hand-to-hand combat feels more brutal, lean, and dare I say, intimate. I realize not every movie is strictly hand-to-hand fights. So for this list, all the film needs is at least one legitimate hand-to-hand combat scene. Now let's fight." 10, he's got The Night Comes for Us. I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's a new one. It's a zombie kind of one that's a martial artist.
Okay. 9, he's got Mission Impossible Fallout. 8, Bourne Ultimatum.
That almost made my list, Mission Impossible Fallout. Anyway, yeah.
7, Fist of Fury.
Yeah.
6 is The Matrix. 5 is Rumble in the Bronx. 4 is The Raid. 3 is Police Story. 2 is Enter the Dragon. And the number 1 is The Raid 2. So he put both raids on there.
All right, fair enough.
And he says, thank you guys always for the great show. Listening to the top 10 is always fun and has been a big help and distraction throughout what is otherwise a pretty shitty year. Happy holidays and looking forward to more in the new year, James.
You too, James. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And then we have shout outs for the people.
Shout-outs. Yep.
For everybody that supports us once a month at the $5 and up, this is our way of saying thank you. And we give you a shout out on the show. And I've got mine open. You ready to roll?
Let me pull mine up here. Matt Nost. All right, cool. Let's do it.
You got V2?
V2, yes. V2.
All right. Angela Dashner.
Hold on. Sorry, buddy. It's taking a little time to come up. Here we go. Okay.
I thought you said, I'm ready to roll. And then,
No. Okay. Charles J. Clark.
Sam Fernando.
Mike Barrington.
David Mitchell Baker.
Andrew Hayes.
Christos Alexakos.
Yeah. Ray Roche.
Robert Miller.
Colson Cooliopolis. Sorry about that, Colson.
Benny Haste.
J. Scotty St. Clair.
Michael D. Dyke.
Robert Francesco Surace.
Cody Rexford.
Jeff Kelly.
Josh Stetz.
Billy Gilliams.
Daniel McCarty.
Paul Cree.
Mark Fawcett.
Kristen Kurtz.
Bobby Carney.
Ew, Chris Lemke.
Nick Baldwin.
Johanna Lenavirta.
Darren Bush.
Bernie Knapp.
Lawrence Witt.
Steve Schluckemeyer.
Houston Bodley.
Ravi Prasad.
Joe Farrelly.
Mark Menchaca.
Josh Mabry.
Ben Cartwright.
Josh Sachs.
George Menchaca.
Eric Blower.
Zach Butts.
Ben Archambault.
Andy Tan.
Ed Buzzkirk.
Drew Enns.
Andrew Marker.
Robert Haley.
Francisco Ramirez.
Michael Bauer.
Phil Knuckles.
Ryan Latonin.
Callie Onken.
Ruben Enriquez.
Joseph Curran.
Edward Wilshire.
Sam Monsalvi.
Francisco J. Torres.
Jimmy Nost.
Ooh, Connor Teal.
Michael Kelly.
Dominic Greaves.
Matt Simmons.
Jeremy Bowers.
James Petty.
Christopher Brockman.
Blake Gant.
Cameron Chapman.
Alex Russell.
Gareth Weldon.
JIC 317.
Ahmed Ali.
Pasquale Buffamante.
Dan Petraglia.
Christopher McIntyre.
Louis Berrigan.
Adelardo Fuente.
Reagan Lovig.
Keith Archer.
Matt Hannigan.
Maurice Robinson.
Marcus Davenport.
Gunnar R.
Jambia Kanazar.
Nizar Alabasi.
John Dowse.
Dale Varley.
Cody Markham.
Phil Neglia.
Chris Consiglio.
Wayne Murphy.
Edward Dobbins.
Kevin Fuss.
Brian Akins.
Deborah Torres.
What's up, Deborah? Jeff Saliba.
John Keefe.
Kristen Smith.
Marcel Behrman.
Dan Nye.
Chris Cabrera.
Joey Anthony.
Anthony Casanova.
Colton Thompson.
Heinrich Winterland.
Tom Daniel Williams.
Ryan Payne.
Justin Kelly.
Lachlan Skinner.
Charles Kim.
Fred Castillo.
Zachariah Kaufman.
Jeff Dickin.
Sean Labua.
Jody Money.
Tim Reimert.
Raina Monroe.
Eric Bruin.
Kyle Beckworth.
Jonathan Caro.
Haley Morton.
Bobby Michael.
Stephen Armstrong.
Drew Burkhart.
Stacy Flores.
Luke Allison.
Ian Horner.
Timothy R. Williams.
TJ Red Hot Cox.
Jordan Wiltshire.
Kyle Spahn.
James Winstead.
Sean Scott.
Josh Lawrence.
Chelsea Lewis.
Rodrigo Valverde III.
Stephen Westaway.
Andre Constantinescu.
Catherine Samuels.
Todd Whitkey.
Roque Ariana.
Alan Snuffleupagus Bennett.
Ben Caridi. Brandon Caridi, rather.
Charlie McKenna.
Matthew Jansen.
Juan Reyes.
Josh Murphy.
Ashley Prowls.
Johanna Schmidt.
David Gregson.
Christian Lundgaard Kuehler.
Ian Brick Beltran Lopez.
Evan Zoller.
Thorsten Aumuller.
Jacob Pullen.
Philip Lane.
Jen Kemp.
Ryan McKenna.
Mike Shea.
What's up, Mike? Alexander Marzonia.
Garth Wisenant,
Noel Kelleher,
Jim Payne,
The Cinephiles,
Andy Ortiz,
Nathan Williams,
Matthew Lee Cravens,
James Trapani,
Seth Shearer,
Laura Deverson,
Matt Yound,
Chris Jones,
Luke Larson,
Julian Key,
Scott Kohler,
Joseph C. Shade,
Charles Hudden,
Michael Ruggeri,
Jan Soderman,
Paul Kevitz, sorry about that,
Miles Atwood,
Kevin Brown,
Michael F. Hampton,
Maggie Ledbetter,
Keith Below,
AJ Pouch,
Viola Helg,
Dylan Johnson,
Thomas Drufke,
The Blast from Our Past podcast,
William Green,
James Leggett,
Chene Taylor,
Ikeaka Monte. Hope I got that right.
Ken Carr,
Abby Lugo,
Martin Windiger,
Isaiah Hoffman,
Charlene Gregory,
Joshua Elkins,
Tim Etheridge,
Chris Clough,
Mike Ferreira.
Mark E. Riley.
Oh no, we're down into none of those people.
None of those people? Okay.
No. For some reason, it downloaded on the second time. None of those people, but our eternal gratitude goes to you all.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
At that level. Yeah, we broke into the $1 for the last,
okay. No worries.
Handful of those.
Okay.
But our thanks to those people. Sorry, the list keeps going for another 50 or 60 names at that point. And we specifically put up, shout outs at 5 and above. So we thank you, though, everybody that supports us over at patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. We thoroughly appreciate it.
Absolutely. We do. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you to everybody for listening this week. We hope your holidays are, you're staying safe and you're enjoying them as best you can, wherever you are. Mm-hmm. Make sure to stay 6 feet apart, wash those hands, and you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost. Check out my other show, Settle the Score, or just follow me online at Matt Nost, and you can see all the stuff that I'm doing. And that is it for me this week.
Okay. You can follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Don't forget, the Top 10 has a YouTube channel as well. Maybe some of you are watching on YouTube channel. Those of you who only listen to us on podcasts, maybe you don't know, we have a YouTube channel. Come on over there and subscribe to that. We're trying to increase the monetary aspect of the YouTube channel. So all the views you can give it, all the likes, the comments, all of that helps to get us get more money in the coffers here for the Top 10 and help us do more things, more shows, and what have you. And as Matt said, I echo his sentiments. Hope you're having a great holiday season and staying safe out there. Wear your mask as well. And also, just do what you need to do to get through the tough times. If you're experiencing some tough times during the season, go back and listen to the best of our episodes. Keep us on a loop for you all. We will entertain you. Trust me. We do so much content here on the show that it's enough to carry you through whatever day you may have. You got 5 years of content to go back and listen to and enjoy and laugh along with us. So please do so if you're down. And hey, greatest gift you can give somebody on Christmas or during the holidays is the gift of the Top 10 show. Tell them about it. Get them excited about it. Give them your favorite episode, and then maybe they'll come aboard and become a fan as well, and possibly become a patron at patreon.com/the top 10. All right. That's it, Matt. Are we out of here?
We are out of here, man. Enjoy your holiday.
Take care, guys. Peace.